This week on Motorhead Garage, Brian and John check out some customized cars and trucks. Later on, Brian learns about some new advanced aftermarket fuel injection technology. All of this and more next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now, you're not going to go down to your local Chevrolet dealership and pick up one of these trucks. As a matter of fact, it's customized from the front bumper all the way to the rear. And the customization is so clean that you might not even notice the third door here. Now, the genius of this customization, that's Brad. Brad, you're from the Lucky 7 Rod Shop. Tell us a little bit about the Rod Shop.
Yes, John, we've been building cars for a lot of years, but ran into some issues along the way. So started utilizing other talents in the areas, upholstery, wiring, and Lucky 7 was built out of that.
Now you can do this all in-house, and I think the genius of your creations right here, there's a lot of custom work right in this front suspension. Tell us a little bit about some of this customization right here in this front end.
Yeah, it's a one-off suspension. All the bracketry was drawn on the floor, and the pinion angles was all chalk lines on the floor and levels to get the pinion angles right, and welded in there. The bars, they're right-handed, left-handed to square the rear end. The airbags are motorhome airbags. They came out of that industry. But the whole thing was is all hand-built there at the shop.
Now, probably no small feat is putting a third door in a truck. Man, what does that take?
It was a feat in itself for sure. We cut the cab right down the middle, pulled the back, front, forward, and added 37 1/4 inches of frame in the middle of it. While we had that apart, I had a friend of mine roll out a sleeve for the frame, so it's all double frame completely under the cab before we put it back together. It's very stout.
Yeah, it looks like it. Let me ask you a question. If our viewers or myself, I want to just get a customized vehicle, whether it's late model or this 29 Ford here, can I just bring you something? You're going to build it from scratch?
Hopefully we can make you happy, yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, this one right here is making me real happy. Matter of fact, how am I going to drive this one home? And I'm sure Brian's feeling the same way with the 29 Ford. Let's take a look at that.
Well, John may be really excited about that big romping, stomping six-door pickup truck. This is way more my speed. A 1929 Ford sedan that started as nothing more than a cowl, and it was built from the ground up by Freddie and the guys from Lucky 7 Rod Shop. Freddie, you got to take me through the process of building this thing and then walk me front to back, because this is an amazing hot rod.
Sure. We came up with a concept of doing a stretched-out Woody, something rat rod look, but decided to take it to the next level, make a high-tech rat rod. So we did a rendering of it, then we did a full-size scale drawing, front to back. Starting at the front, we kind of decided we wanted to use a 41 Ford 1.5-ton axle. So we used elliptical springs and designed a trailing arm to use the ellipticals and push the front axle out about 10 inches in front of the grill shell.
It totally makes it look very dramatic, and I think one of the reasons this car really works as well as it does is because you did it with that stretch wheelbase and the four-door. It would look kind of really scrunched up, but man, the front suspension is cool, but I want to talk about the body, because as many people must walk by this thing at a car show and think it's wood, you guys hand fabricated this from steel and aluminum.
The whole thing is made out of carbon steel, except for the darker wood panels are made out of aluminum.
Two big things in my eyes. You put a Ford in a Ford, you get a 347 stroker up front, which is cosmically correct. And second, the interior in this thing is absolutely gorgeous. Please tell me about that.
Sure. We decided to go with some maroon leather to match the paint on the outside and carry a little bit more color inside. And then decided to carry some wood inside. You still see a lot of wood when you're sitting inside of it to match the outside of it. And to carry with a theme of a classy car back in the 20s and 30s, we decided to add some luggage in the back of it to it's also functional.
Totally genius. And not only that, you guys made the luggage, quote unquote. Drop dead gorgeous, stunning car, front to back, all built by the guys at Lucky 7 Rod Shop. Freddie, thanks for coming in today. This thing is spectacular, and I'm going to arm wrestle you for a ride because I need to drive this thing.
Sounds good, man.
We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is being brought to you by Inland Empire Drivelines, drive shafts that make a difference. Brothers Truck Parts, your #1 source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration. Smarto Drain Plug, the intelligent drain plug. And by Dustless Blasting. It's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Hot rodders today live in the golden age of making and managing horsepower, and the reason they're able to do that is because of advanced aftermarket fuel injection technology like the stuff developed by Fuel Tech. I'm here with Matt from Fuel Tech. Matt, we know you guys from some of the real high horsepower cars, race cars you're on, but you guys are way more than that.
Yeah, our system can be used on anything from street cars to race cars, even motorcycles, import cars. So yeah, we wanted to come out here and show that to you guys.
You know, you have the FT500, which a lot of people know about. It's a very adaptable, advanced system. Tell me about how it is kind of easily integratable for somebody who has a high-performance street car.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the FT500 with a blank harness, which is an unterminated harness. People could put it on any application at that point, or we even have plug and plays. So one of the things that we just came out with is an LS plug and play. It'll work on any LS motor. So you get the system, the harness, you can install it, you know, in the morning and be at the racetrack in the afternoon.
You know, one of the things that I think defines the Fuel Tech brand is the fact that you have the great screen, but really this little unit is not only just a screen, it's also the brains, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So that's something that really makes us stand out amongst our competition is what you're seeing in the actual display is the computer. So it has the high impedance injector drivers built in. We keep our O2 driver, the conditioner, outside the box. This way, if you wanted to run, say, 8 O2s or 10 O2s, you could do that. So other than that, you just need one O2 conditioner in the computer and you're ready to go.
If you're running a real serious application, say a big nitrous motor or something like that, having those additional O2s is a big deal because you want to know how each one of the holes in the motor is performing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the O2s are over CAN bus as well, so they don't take up any inputs.
So if I'm looking at an aftermarket fuel injection system, I think one of the things that comes up is tunability. What do you guys offer as far as my ability to actually tune this thing?
So we've got a base map generator. You basically put in all the information about the engine, cubic inch, what size injectors you're running, you know, all the standard stuff. And our system does a really good job of actually generating that tune-up for that setup. We always recommend taking it to a chassis dyno and fine-tuning it there, but anyone can pretty much get up and running.
Talk a little bit more about those big high horsepower applications. You know, we have a championship Wally on the table. Troy Coughlin has won championships on NHRA Pro Mod with your system. There are world records that have been set literally all over the place. So how have you guys been able to take that really kind of high level stuff and make it adaptable for the street car guy?
We're fortunate enough to get on some of those really nice cars in the beginning, and now, you know, everyone is able to see that, hey, if it works on a 5-second street car like Larry Larson's truck, sure, it'll run my 800 horsepower LS motor. So yeah, the same features are there regardless. That's something that kind of distinguishes us against some others, is all those boost controller, traction control, wheelie control, all that stuff is built into the system whether you use it or not, so you don't have to pay for it down the road, and it'll work on any application.
Obviously, Fuel Tech's a technology-driven company, and that means evolution, and the next evolution in your system is the FT600, which is the kind of latest and greatest. Couple of units been out there right now, and I know it's really fresh to the market. So what are some of the advancements you've gone to for the 600 over the 500?
Yeah, so the 600, first of all, is not a replacement for the 500. 500, still, it's, you know, as of today, it's on every car there is. So everything we've done is with the 500. The 600 is basically a 500 on steroids. So it's got a aluminum case. It's got AMP super seal connectors. It's IP67 waterproof, so say you're using it on a motorcycle or a jet ski, you know, that comes in handy there. It's got a different mounting solution. It's got a built-in G meter. It's got 20 inputs and 32 outputs opposed to the 500, which is 11 inputs and 20 outputs. It's got a standalone graphics processor, so the dashboard is, you know, a little nicer. But it's a great unit, and we're really happy to, you know, put it out in the market.
Both the 5 and 600 have the nice configurable dash as well, so you can set that thing up to look any way you want.
Absolutely.
Well, Matt, thanks for coming in. As much as we want to talk about how good this stuff is, we're actually going to show how good it is by installing a system on a high-performance, street-legal, very quick Mustang. And we'll be back to do that after this with more Motorhead Garage.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. You know, Matt and I talked about a lot of the great features that the Fuel Tech system offers, not only for racing applications, but also for street cars and high-performance machines. So we figured we'd take an opportunity to show you how one of the systems lays out. This is a great example of their wiring harness. It is beautiful. It is terminated with all the factory-style connectors and labeled as well. My man Lewis from Fuel Tech is joining me here. We have a 388-inch turbocharged LS motor in this small tire Mustang drag car, and it looks like the system pretty much installs itself, man.
Yeah, we were finishing up, so we basically need to finish this side, coils and injectors, but everything else is already hooked up. We're almost ready to fire. Let's finish this side.
You know, one of the things you guys pride yourselves on is the fact that this system integrates itself very well and it's very user-friendly. If I'm a guy at home installing a Fuel Tech, if I'm putting the FT500 on my car, what is the next step? Once I get everything plugged in, what happens next?
It's pretty much simple. The unit, it has like a built-in base map generator. So you basically tell the unit what you have, fuel-wise, injector size, engine size, and the unit will build up like a base tune, so you can crank the engine, start up, and start doing the fine-tune based on that.
Let's talk about a boost controller, because that's obviously integrated in the system as well, and this car needs one because you got a big honking turbo.
Yeah, exactly. Like this one, we are running the boost controller integrated in the system, so it will control the boost either by speed, by gear, by time. It's basically what is your setup. Is a street, is a drag racing, or road racing, and you select which one you want to use, and everything is built in on the unit.
Turbos are super popular these days, but there are lots of guys running nitrous still, whether we're talking LS motor or any other style. So what is involved as far as nitrous controlling, and even beyond that, how am I monitoring engine health if I'm running a power adder like that?
Basically, is also building in the system a very nice nitro controller. So you either have up to 6 stages, like a Pro Nitro system, or you can have like a progressive system. Both are built in.
In the progressive system, obviously for the street car guys, they might be street strip guys every once in a while going on using the system, so that's pretty awesome. Again, we're talking about a system that can, with the 500, a system that can handle even a car like this. This is heavy duty stuff. I mean, this car makes big power,
yes.
388 cubic inches and all the boost in the world going through it. But if I have something more tame than this, it's still a good system to use on a non-boosted application, correct?
Exactly. Like the system is pretty much universal. So if you want to run like your motorcycle single cylinder, or a motorcycle 4-cylinder, or if you have a Lamborghini, is every single time the same ECU is capable of.
Motorcycles with a 1-cylinder, you got a 12-cylinder Ferrari or a 10-cylinder Lamborghini or whatever you're doing, but still, it all kind of comes down to this, doesn't it?
Whatever you have, you fit a LS, and you can have a good power. Like this one have at least 16, 17 to the crankshaft.
And another thing that needs to be talked about is the ability for this system to use different fuels and how easy it is to integrate that. This car runs on E85. Talk to me about how easy it is to switch between those tunes.
The unit has up to 5 tunes stored. So if you have like a different fuel just for the racetrack, you can literally just swap between tunes with the engine running. So if you have like a different fuel pump for that or a different fuel line for that, you can select that on the unit, just select the other tune. What the engine is running or not is up to you, and the unit change the behavior for that different tune.
Well, I'm going to make Lewis put his money where his mouth is because I want to hear this baby fire up. When we get ready to do that, check this out.
Time now for Project 18.8 with Steve Flanders.
Well, we made it to the interior on our 18.8 project. And Steve, I got to tell you, I thought this is the portion I was actually going to get you to call you a liar, because you told me it was a do-it-yourself project. And after putting that seat together, man, I can do this. I'm impressed.
That's right. Well, we got a little lucky because someone had recently replaced the seat upholstery with this ugly blue stuff we pulled off. So we had pretty nice foam, but you know, if we would have had to replace this, it's simple. Use a little spray adhesive, lay it over the backing, and kind of tuck it around the corners, and we would have been right back to square one where we're at now. But let's get the seat covers stretched over here. First thing we're going to want to do is just drag it just like we did with the bottom piece. We're going to want to pull it on and kind of line it up and make sure that we have kind of the sense of where this is going to lay when we flip this over and start hog ringing it.
Okay, and that's cool because this comes in a kit, the whole covers and everything. I mean, impressive.
Yeah. Is your corner over there tight?
Yeah, not yet. Let me get it on there good.
There you go.
Almost like putting on bed sheets. Look at that, nothing to it.
That's right.
Whoops.
All right.
All right.
Just like with the bottom piece, we're going to pull the top tight.
Okay.
And we're going to hog ring in the center.
Now this is where
Work our way out.
really impressive. These hog rings right here, nothing more than just taking the little staple out of there, the hog ring itself, put it in there, and with the right tools, man, we become upholstery guys.
That's right. And we'll put this one first.
Okay. Just get over there, squeeze it right in there. Man, that's a hog ring
Just like
detached.
that.
Nothing to it.
So we'll work our way out and around, pulling tight. We'll pull the bottom over last. We made our two halves together.
Man, there's nothing to it. I'll tell you what, these seats with those new visors and those handles are really going to set this truck off. Join us next week. We're going to do in there and do some cab work prior to putting these seats in.
All right, Lewis, the moment of truth. Take me through the steps of firing this bad boy up.
Okay, so we're gonna open up the software. We're gonna connect to the ECU, powering by the computer alone. No need to fire the car yet. And we're gonna send a bass tune, pretty simple, generated by the ECU itself. After it does, you can see the tune is over there, and we are ready to fire it. Let's see how it goes.
Do it to it. There it is, big success. Learn more about the system by going to fueltech.net, and we'll be back with more Motorhead Garage right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is being brought to you by Deep South Armor, designing and building lift kits for UTVs. Jackie Up, the no more bent jack device. Stage 8, the world's best locking fastener. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation. Magic Creeper, ready, rain or shine.
One of the handiest and most frequently used items we have in the Motorhead Garage shop is our Magic Creeper, and there's a good reason for it. This is a super low profile creeper made out of a unique fabric that's resistant to stuff like oil and water. You can wipe all that stuff away with a rag. What it allows us to do is to quickly get under a vehicle if we need to check something out. We can also use it to help slide cargo in and out of a pickup truck or another elevated space. What makes it so unique is the fact that it rolls up and it stores so easily. You can throw it behind the back seat of your truck and the trunk of your car and have it for any emergency needs or anything that may arise. One of the tips to use this properly, which I'm going to go under a pickup truck here, it's been leaving a little puddle every time we parked it, so I want to see what that's all about. But the biggest tip to use with the Magic Creeper is to make sure you get it nice and far underneath your vehicle. Kind of take it, roll it out like that, give yourself an area to sit down on. Once you sit down, it's just as easy is sliding under the vehicle. I'm under the fuel tank here and I can clearly see that the leak is right there. All I gotta do now is go get the tools to fix the leak. So now that I've identified the problem, it's just gonna be as easy as sliding out, heading over to the toolbox, getting the tools, and then headed down the road. Gonna roll this thing back up again, throw it behind the seat of the truck, and the Magic Creeper will be back and ready for the next use.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now the word muscle in muscle cars means something. There's a reason for that. It means power. There's a lot of upgrades that go along with the engine. But on the flip side of the coin, the brakes have to do the stopping, and a lot of times they're neglected. Well, we have a solution for that. Greg from GPS Automotive. Greg, you have a solution for muscle car brakes. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, John, GPS Automotive has solutions for a lot of popular muscle cars. What we brought with us today is a complete disc brake conversion kit for a 1967 Mustang.
It completes the word here. Let's start over with the rotors and talk about some of these components.
Well, we brought two rotors. We brought the standard rotor that comes in the kit, and then we also brought the same rotor in our cross-drilled, slotted, and zinc-coated finish.
Now you also have the lines. I mean, I see the braided lines here versus the rubber lines.
Yes, depending on which level of the kit you choose, you may get the standard DOT-approved rubber hoses, or you may get our DOT-approved braided stainless steel hoses.
That's perfect. So a little pressure, you're not going to expand. You're going to get great pedal feel with that.
Correct.
Caliper assembly, loaded. Man, looks complete to me. Tell me a little bit about it.
That's just how it comes out of the box. So the pads are already in it. On the other side of the caliper, once we install it, you'll see that it comes with the anti-rattle hardware included, as well as the copper washers.
Now, a lot of the older cars have organic pads. What are you guys using?
We use a high-quality semi-metallic brake pad. Way better for more aggressive stopping and avoiding brake fade during your stop.
Bracketry. Man, I can't just swap that thing over. I'm going to have to have some kind of bracketry and hardware to get it to work.
That's correct. This kit will bolt directly to your factory 5-lug Mustang spindle. Just remove your factory drum, shoes, and backing plates. That bracket you see there will bolt directly to the spindle.
Now I also see the hardware. I'm going to get all of the bearings, anything I need to put this in. It is a complete package, including the actual cotter key itself.
Yes, sir. We try to give you everything that we can. So it comes with seals, bearings, new spindle nut, washer for the outer bearing, and the cotter key as well.
And we're going to convert it over. I need a booster and a master cylinder.
Yes, sir. There's different options depending on your transmission in your car. So this one is for a manual transmission setup. It comes complete with the pre-bent brake lines to help you reuse your factory distribution block.
That's incredible. You start talking about these lines here, take it from somebody that has a hard time flaring lines. That's difficult. I mean, it's all going to be right there for you. I mean, that's perfect. And the booster, it's a dual diaphragm, nice and small, freeing up a lot of engine compartment. I mean, this is awesome. Let's head over to our demo. I mean, I also see the pedal. The pedal comes complete as well?
Pedal comes complete. There's different pedal for manual transmission or automatic transmission, and the pedal is made locally in the United States.
We can go ahead and assemble this with no problem.
Absolutely.
And the cool part about this, if you look right on the back here, this is actually the plate that's bolted to the spindle. And this is the Ford spindle, correct?
That's correct.
So as that's bolted to it, and then you also give us the splash shield as well.
Also correct.
Going to stop any debris or anything going into the brake system. Real nice. And so
Splash shield's zinc coated as well, so that's not going to rust on you either.
Oh, nice, real nice. All right, well, let's go ahead and take it. If you want to take, I'll take the rotor assembly over here. We'll go ahead and we'll flip that over. And then we'll take the outside bearing. Okay, you got the nut there?
Yep, there's a nut.
Cotter key comes with the kit. I mean, that's phenomenal. I put that on. What's next?
Next, we'll slide the caliper on. So you just grab the caliper. You'll see that it has the anti-rattle hardware on it.
Sure does.
Slide it right over the rotor, and then you'll install the bolts from the back side.
So Greg, that's about it. I mean, it's complete. Just follow the instructions, you're good to go. You got your retrofit kit.
Yes, sir.
You sure do. Well, folks, you've seen a great show today. If you have any products that you want to get on Motorhead Garage, cool like this or the ones you've seen, just email Jeff at masterstv.com. We'll see you next week for more Motorhead Garage.